What's up, fellow junkies? And I want to welcome you to Horror Junkies 509 on location for this episode of From Best to Worst. And where am I, you ask? I'm on Elm Street. Welcome to From Best to Worst, bitch. Alright, fellow junkies, here we are. Right here on Elm Street. Here to do an episode of From Best to Worst. The Nightmare on Elm Street edition. So I figured, I don't do a lot of on-location things, and I knew I had an Elm Street here. It's literally about like 3 houses, a church, and a school. But you know what? When in Rome, you go on location. So I got everything set up here, you guys. I'm in my truck. This is where I'm going to do it because I'm not trying to weird people out with this thing, even though I'm probably going to do that anyway. I better do this before the sun comes up. Alright guys, so there's about 9 Nightmare on Elm Street movies, so I'm going to go through them real quick. And let's see if I hopefully don't get arrested, because that would really make this night awesome. Alright guys, so my least favorite night, well, the way I can put this is, when it comes to like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Halloween, I like them all, so it's like my least favorite to my favorite kind of thing, because I watch all of them. Whether I love them, hate them, whatever. And I'm really just hoping these lights stay on the whole time. So, first video I've really done in my truck. So, we'll give this a shot. So, back to what I was doing. My number 9 favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie is gotta be Freddys Dead, The Final Nightmare. And this is just when the stand-up comic Freddy is just gone a little too far. They just try to make him too funny. The makeup is awful. The story isn't that great. I mean, literally one of my favorite things in this movie is when he kills the kid in the video game. It's so overly cheesy that somehow it just works for me. But, I mean, I don't really care about not even Alice Cooper and Roseanne and Tom Arnold could have saved this movie. That's the best way I can put that. But, I mean, it's Nightmare on Elm Street. You get to see Freddy, so I enjoy it a little bit. But, I mean, definitely my least favorite out of the bunch. I'm going to try and do this quicker than I normally do, you guys, but I mean, I say that, but then you know how things go. And then I got my handicap here, because this is going to make things a little difficult. Alright guys, so number 8 is going to be A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, I believe the Dream Child. Now, I mean, this story was a good idea. I feel like it was very well done. It was just a little far-fetched for me. I mean, I know these Nightmare on Elm Streets, they can get far-fetched because, it's that dream sequence kind of gives them the right to do kind of whatever they want. But, I mean, it's another one where Freddy's trying to be funny. The kills are just overly ridiculous. I mean, feeding someone to death, basically. Kills like that. Freddy's makeup still looks like crap. I really don't like these 2 makeups on him. Doesn't look good. He's not really scary. He's just trying to be a stand-up comic. I really think he should have stayed with his day job. His killing people job, I guess is his day job, technically. He's a graveyarder, just like me. But I don't think I'm a psycho. Or am I? Moving on, but Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 made it to my number 8 spot. Alright guys, so my number 7 spot, this one probably moves more than any sequel ever, or whatever you want to put it as. But I'm going to go with A Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake. Now, I go back and forth all the time whether I hate this movie, whether I like this movie, because I don't love it. I don't love it by any means necessary. But, I mean, as far as the remakes go, this one was fairly okay when it comes to the slasher genre. I'm not talking about every remake ever, because there's some that will trump this all day long. But as far as the slashers go, sorry guys, I like the lenticular cover. For being replaced, Robert Englund was replaced as Freddy Krueger in this, I really did not mind Jackie Earle Haley's Freddy Krueger. I feel like he's the one guy out there that might be able to do it. He obviously didn't do it, and I'm not saying he did, but I enjoyed watching someone else give it a shot. But I mean, also, I'll always take Robert Englund back. But the problem with this movie is, you didn't care about the characters. The Nancy was terrible. I didn't enjoy her very much. I feel like they tried to make everyone really, really hot, when I don't feel like the original Nancy was, Mrs. Babelicious Gorgeous. And that's what I love about the original Nightmare. So, this would probably still be at the bottom if this wasn't last week, I'll tell you that. Alright, so I think Next is my number 6 spot. Man, this glove is making things difficult. I'm probably going to cut holes in my truck seats. Man, but I'm keeping it on because that's flair. That is flair right there. So I believe number 6 is going to be A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge. You know, I don't hate this movie for what they tried to do. It's just, I hate this movie. It's kind of just, I don't hate this movie. I'm saying this wrong. This movie's far down just because they tried to do something and it didn't fit with me. Trying to replace the female heroine with a male, I mean, it was enjoyable to watch. It's funny, but I just don't think it carried. I like Jesse's character in this movie. I think it's a very good movie. And then, you know, all those gay undertones that people keep telling me about. Like, I watched this movie as a kid. I never caught on to that stuff, but that's just because I wasn't supposed to as a kid. Unless my parents are keeping me very advanced, which they didn't. So I didn't catch any of that stuff. So I was actually able to watch this movie and enjoy it. And it wasn't, well, that was the gayest thing I've ever seen. I actually got to watch it and be like, that was a decent Nightmare on Elm Street movie. But, I mean, in this movie, I mean, the things they got right, Freddy looks awesome. He's evil. One difference in this movie that I really dig is that the blades come out of his fingers. He doesn't have a glove, for the most part. But, I mean, just the whole, like, Freddy becoming his victims was really trying to me. I just didn't really dig that part. But, I mean, overall, I find this a very enjoyable movie, but it's made it to number 6. I really hope I got this number thing right, or I'm going to be so ass backwards when I finish this thing. Sorry, guys. Some difficulties with the glove. This one's a little tight. I need a new one. eBay, I'll be there soon. Alright, guys, so number 5, I believe it is going to go ahead and be Nightmare on Elm Street 4, The Dream Master. Now, this is just such a great continuation to The Dream Warriors, which is just such a great sequel, like one of the top ones for sure. But Dream Master, I felt like it was a great continuation. I don't like that they pretty much killed off all the warriors from the first one. But, I mean, you know, I felt like it was a necessary evil. The dog peeing to bring Freddy back was just great. So, Freddy's looking good in this movie. He's really starting to be funny. This is where it really starts. Like, he's always got his one-liners, but they're so good that he was still scary. But now he's starting to become the stand-up comedian we all kind of know and love today, I guess. But, I mean, you know, for a good continuation, a good way to, I kind of get away from the Dream Warriors and have the Dream Master. I enjoyed this. I loved the characters. I just bringing the good stuff from Part 3, but also moving away from it, like doing its own thing. So I highly like number 4, or Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4, and that's at my number 5. All right, guys, so we're at the top 4 now. Now this one is going to be in every one of my movies I can put it in because I love this movie, but on at number 4 is going to be Freddy vs. Jason, because as we all know, this is basically more of a Freddy movie than it is a Jason. This is still going to be in every one of my Jason videos, just because Jason's in it. But I think we all know my 2 cents of this movie. I love this movie. They took 2 amazing icons, they let them be themselves, and they put it into one movie, and I feel like they did it the best way possible for the time. Now, if we got a sequel of this, or a remake, or something like that now, I'd have a lot of different expectations. So, you know, just completely revamping this movie wouldn't work for me, probably. But, I mean, for what they did at the time, I love this movie. Freddy vs. Jason. This is probably awkward to do in a Freddy movie because Jason totally won. I mean, come on. But a great icon versus icon movie. That's my number 4. Alright, guys, we are in top 3. And I'm hoping I kind of surprised you with some of my choices, but if I don't, awesome. But you guys, always, if you guys are, give me your 2 cents. What is your best to worst movie, like, as far as Nightmare on Elm Street? What's your favorite one? I mean, let's talk about this, because this is, like, these iconic, now I've done all 3, the big icon, from best to worst. I've done Halloween, I've done Friday the 13th, and now I'm doing Nightmare on Elm Street, so, I mean, this is the topics I love to talk about. Slashers are my thing. Those 3 big ones right there are awesome, so, oh my god. The light went out. Let's see if I can get her back on. There we go. There it is. All right. I had a feeling that was going to happen. I just wasn't sure when. All right, guys. So, number 3 is going to be Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Now, I've been watching a few of these movies where people, like, they rank their Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and this one seems to be kind of low on a lot of people's. But, I mean, I really enjoy this movie. I thought it was very smart. Freddy is finally dark and scary again. I can't just thank it for enough for that, just to bring Freddy being scary again. Not crazy about the new glove or hand he's got, but I mean, it's such a small part in the movie. I mean, Heather Langenkamp, Robert Englund, Wes Craven, all in this movie. So clever. It's such an homage to the original without being a remake. This was such a clever movie, and that's why it's number 3 on my list. Hands down. Alright, now that we're at the top 2, you guys, I'm just going to come clean. If I were to do this video now, and it's like this, I could do this movie a month from now after watching these 2 again, and it could be different. These 2 are always interchanging. It's the way of life. But this is the way they're set now. So my second favorite Nightmare on Elm Street is Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3, The Dream Warriors. Now, this is everyone's favorite, pretty much, as far as sequels go. This is such a well-done sequel. The story, the stuff they got going on in it. Freddy's a badass. Like, his little one-liners, man. You just can't beat it in this movie. He's not trying to be a joke in this movie. He's still scary in this movie. Oh, God. I'm in the dark. I think it's because I'm on Elm Street. What do you guys think? Alright, guys. So, I'll try and wrap this up real quick. So I'm saying, Part 2. If I do this video again next month, this could be number 1. Who knows? But there's nothing I can really badly say about this movie. Heather Langenkamp is back as Nancy. Yeah, just wonderful. Great one. Alright, guys, so number 1, if it surprised anyone, it probably shouldn't. I'm such a stickler for the originals, but my number 1 spot, the original, Nightmare on Elm Street. Now, this movie just came out in such a prime time. Like, we were getting Halloween's, we were getting Friday the 13th, and then Freddy came. We got a killer demon from hell that talked with awesome weapons and just an awesome storyline, awesome kills. Even though he doesn't kill a lot, he's not the body count like Friday the 13th is, but that's okay. But this is such a creative movie. Wes Craven's mind blows me every single time, because I just like the things this guy's come up with in one mind. It just stand alone right there, you guys. But Nightmare on Elm Street, the original, is my number 1. It's just such a great one. I will never, ever. This is my Desert Island Nightmare on Elm Street movie. If I had to only pick one for the rest of my life, I'd probably pick this one. That's the way I can put that. But you guys, like I said, what's your favorite Nightmare on Elm Street and why? I mean, what would your list look like? Are we similar? Are we different? Let's talk about this. Horror Junkies 509 on location on Elm Street. I think I'm gonna die. My closing is not supposed to go like that, so I'll try this again. Horror Junkies 509 on location on Elm Street from best to worst. The Nightmare on Elm Street edition. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll catch you guys next time. I'm going to be doing my monthly update video here real soon. And I'll see you guys next time. Welcome to my world, bitch.